The housing market, the real estate market, the automotive market, the stock market, the retail market, the food supply and grocery market, all these markets are preparing to start making major changes in response to post-pandemic recovery, economic collapse, inflation, rising fuel costs and transportation fees, and higher interest rates and inflation in general. These businesses and corporations are prepping now for SHTF, and the main question you have to ask yourself is, are you prepared for the business model evolution? Are you preparing, or are you already prepped? Or will you be like many Americans who wait only to react rather than to prepare and get left out in the cold, starving, shivering, hungry, and begging on street corners for help from strangers passing by? Now, if you are not prepared and do not plan to begin preparing, please don't waste your time, because there's no reason for you to stick around for the rest of this video. Just keep living your lives aimless, blind, and ultimately doomed. Maybe you'll get lucky, but odds are you will not, and you and your family will be wiped out relatively quickly. Now, if you're preparing and want to get better prepared, then you're in the right place. So let's just get right into it. I want to talk to you about the cash flow quadrant. Now, comment below if you know what the cash flow quadrant is, or if you have ever heard of the cash flow quadrant. While you're at it, just give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Now, the cash flow quadrant is a square comprised of 4 smaller squares. 2 squares on the left and 2 squares on the right. Or 2 squares on the top and 2 squares on the bottom. But however you look at it, there are 4 small squares within one larger square. The 2 squares on the left make up the employee and self-employed, while the 2 squares on the right are reserved for businesses and investors. The 2 quadrants on the right side, B and I, are the primary paths to financial freedom. E and S on the left, employee and self-employed. E, you have a job. S, you own a job. B and I on the right, business owner and investor. B, you own a system and people work for you. I, money works for you. Those in the B quadrant own a system and lead people. The systems and people who work for the business can run successfully without the business owner's constant involvement. The same types of businesses can be run by S owners and B owners. For example, a plumber could own and work in his own plumbing business, or a business owner could create a plumbing business and hire quality plumbers, administrators, and a manager to run the system of the plumbing business. The wealthiest individuals in the world typically own businesses. These individuals include Bill Gates of Microsoft, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. Investors own assets and produce income. This is the quadrant for truly passive income. Investors in this quadrant have usually accumulated money earned in one or more of the other 3 quadrants, and they let the money go to work and produce even more money for themselves. Investors often purchase shares of companies owned by those in the B quadrant. The capital from the investors help to fuel the systems created by the business owner, and this fuel can lead to even greater growth and more income for everyone involved. There are multiple paths to financial independence, but most of them ultimately lead to the right side of the quadrant, B and I. So if you want to achieve greater financial independence and freedom, it will pay to start learning the skills and mindset required to make this move to the right side of the cash flow quadrant. A question: which quadrant represents you? Where do you earn most of your income? And what about your spouse? What about your friends? But seriously, which part of the cash flow quadrant would you like to move to first? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below.